Hey brother, it's Dan with Good Guides to Great Men. It's great to see you here again. Thanks for watching. I wanted to talk a little bit about knowing when you're right and the other person is wrong. Right? I think a lot of the time we can do this in relationship without even really knowing that we're doing it at all. And so we'll often walk away from a situation or a conversation or an interaction, and in our head or in our body somehow we're kind of saying, well, you know, you would think that. This is why the relationship's screwed. You always do this, or you see, there's always a problem with what I've done, right? There's always something, my opinion, the way I've done something, there's always something wrong with what I've been doing, right? And this is how we can walk away from the situation, from the conversation, from the interaction, not even really aware that we're doing that, but we are doing that somewhere in our head, you know, just saying she's wrong, she's got that wrong. So when I'm talking about she's wrong and I'm right, essentially she's never wrong when we're talking about her feelings, how she's feeling. You're never wrong when we're talking about your feelings, how you're feeling. The problem we have really is that we then have a disparity between the two. Well, I feel this way and you feel that way. So who's right? You know, what is the correct answer to this situation? And the truth is, you're both right, right? The correct answer to that situation is that you feel that way and she feels that way. So this might be, sometimes we're talking about this kind of thing in relation to connection and intimacy in the relationship. You know, one person might be being distant and standoffish and needing space and constantly on their phone, and the other person might be asking questions, setting up invitations, getting frustrated when those things are turned down, initiating intimacy, not getting anywhere, you know, just essentially getting more and more frustrated with it. And so when I say she's always right, when we're talking about her feelings, what I'm essentially pointing at is the fact that when she's feeling a certain way, there's something causing that. You know, why is she feeling a certain way? And so oftentimes I'll say to guys, your intimate connection, the connection between the two of you, the thing that gives you that opportunity to laugh, to relax, to have fun, to flirt, to initiate intimacy between the two of you, to love, to have sex, all of that good stuff, you know, that gets lost when you're in this. It's you're wrong and I'm right. You know, it's blaming and defensiveness. This is essentially what happens, you know. And we think, well, if I don't say anything, if I don't tell anybody how I'm feeling, if I'm not critical of the other person, then they don't know that I'm feeling that. And that's bullshit. Because she's got a super sensitive detector that tells her, and we have too, right? But we're not so aware of it, that tells her when somebody's pissed off, when somebody's upset. Now, there's a load of stuff we could go into with regards to evolutionary biology, which relates to some of this and why it's stronger in women than it is in men. But now's not the time I want to talk about that stuff. What I want to say is that however it is that you're feeling and thinking about the other person, it is being communicated in one way or another. Body language, tone of voice, intonation, look in your eye, all this stuff is shouting out information to the other person. So if you're in this place of you're wrong, you always do this, why can't you you need to fix, why don't you go and see a therapist, etc., 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 etc. All that stuff is creating the environment. And then you're then getting frustrated with the fact that this is a sexless relationship, or that there's no passion, but without really any understanding of how you're creating the environment. And we're always saying, look, the man is responsible for leading the emotional environment. And that means being aware of when you're doing this stuff. And I know sometimes it can be so subtle that you don't even realize. So what I wanted to get across to you today is just be aware of it. Have an interaction. You come away from that interaction and you feel something, discomfort, some niggle, some frustration, some annoyance. Don't ignore that. Don't shove it down. Recognize that and go, okay, so what's going on there? What am I doing in this moment What am I thinking about? Where's my focus? If your focus is on the other person is doing something wrong, then you've disconnected. You've chopped off the connection. There's no chance of connection in that moment. So what I want you to be able to do is to reground yourself, take a moment, get a little bit of energy back in your body, and then get curious. Okay, so there's disconnection. Okay, that's true. There's maybe even tension. So why? Like, I wonder why that is. Just get curious about it. You don't even need to ask questions, poke and prod. You don't need to do any of that. Just the shift in your position from blaming, right? I'm right, you're wrong, to I wonder if there's something else going on here. A lot of the time we're looking for certainty, right? We're looking for some certainty, some kind of formula that we can follow so that we can essentially make her happy so that she can then come closer to us, connect with us, and we can have that fun, passionate relationship that we want to have. But there is no certainty in relationships. There isn't any. So we're totally scuppering ourselves by even thinking that there will be something like that. There's just too much. There's too much granularity in people and connection for there to be certainty. So the only certainty that you really have is, okay, how can I create the best possible opportunity for there to be a chance of relaxation, connection, fun, laughter, flirtation, all that good stuff. And that comes down to being really self-aware, and not just being aware of how you're being and who you are, but being aware of the connection, being aware of what's going on with her, being aware that if she isn't able to open up or answer a question or something like that, then something else is going on. So how can you get better at understanding? How can you get better at just holding an open space for somebody else to interact with you, rather than being, on the verge of closing that connection yourself, waiting for something to happen. Oh, there she goes again, here's another argument. On the verge of cutting off the connection by saying, I'm right and she's wrong. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Take it easy. Hope to see you sometime on the website.